Welcome back to AI Signal and Noise. I am Taylor, and it is a brand new Monday. We have got some absolutely wild stories to kick off your week today, so grab your coffee and let us get into it.
And I am Morgan. I am definitely ready to dive in. Between AI agents designing their own algorithms and some serious philosophical debates from industry leaders, we have a whole lot of ground to cover this morning.
Oh, for sure. It really feels like the AI news cycle never actually sleeps over the weekend anymore. There is always something groundbreaking happening. Let us just jump right into the first big story we have on the docket today. So, did you happen to catch the massive debate over the weekend between DeepMind's Demis Hassabis and LeCun? I saw the breakdown on the decoder, and the contrast between their views is honestly getting pretty spicy.
Oh, I definitely saw that going around. Hassabis made a pretty bold claim this time, right? He said something about humanity already standing in the foothills of the singularity. That is a massively optimistic statement for him to make.
Exactly. He genuinely thinks we are right on the edge of a major paradigm shift. But LeCun totally pushed back on that, basically saying everyone needs to calm down because current AI systems are not genuinely intelligent at all.
Well, LeCun has always been the resident skeptic in the room. He is not wrong that these systems still struggle with basic real-world reasoning. But then, Vinyals from the Gemini team jumped in to moderate the debate too.
Right. Vinyals kind of played the peacemaker between the two extremes. He pointed out that if you showed today's language models to someone 7 years ago, they would have absolutely, without a doubt, called it artificial general intelligence.
That is a really fair point, honestly. Our goalposts for AGI just keep moving further away every time a new model drops. We get so used to the technological magic that we start taking it completely for granted.
Totally, dude. It becomes the new normal instantly. But Vinyals also admitted that today's AI still cannot really learn from experience or produce actual original breakthroughs like a human scientist would in a lab.
Which brings the conversation right back to LeCun's main argument. Until these models can plan, reason dynamically, and understand physical reality, the singularity is still a very long way off. It is a fascinating philosophical divide in the industry.
Speaking of AI struggling with real-world reasoning, I read this crazy piece on the decoder about why you should never, ever leave Copilot or Gemini on their default model settings when you are doing serious work.
Oh, I always make sure to tweak my settings before doing anything important. What exactly happened this time? The AI hallucinate a bunch of fake code or make up historical facts for a user again?
Actually, it is way worse if you're a data analyst. A mathematician named Adam Kucharski fed Copilot identical datasets, but he just changed the country labels on the data points to see how the model would react.
Oh no, I think I know exactly where this is going. Let me guess. The AI started making up cultural differences that were not even present in the actual numbers he provided?
Yes, dude, it completely invented country differences out of thin air. Instead of giving accurate mathematical results, Copilot delivered these highly detailed cultural stereotypes based purely on the labels he used for the columns.
That is exactly why default models are so incredibly dangerous for data analysis. They are optimized to please you with a plausible narrative and sound smart, rather than just crunching the hard numbers objectively.
Exactly. And apparently, if you switch over to a dedicated thinking model, it actually catches the trick and gives the mathematically correct answer. But casual users simply do not know they need to do that.
That is the real systemic danger here. Most people just type their prompt into the default chat box and blindly trust whatever output comes back. It is honestly kind of terrifying for businesses relying on this for insights.
Okay, let us pivot to something that actually works really well out of the box. I saw on MarkTech post that Microsoft Research just dropped a new terminal native web agent framework called Webwright, and it looks super impressive.
I was reading about that paper earlier today. It sounds like a massive upgrade for developers. It replaces that clunky, click-trace web automation with reusable Playwright scripts, which is just so much cleaner and more reliable.
Oh, it is incredibly clean. And get this, running on the GPT 5.4 model, Webwright scored 60.1% on the Long Horizon Odyssey's benchmark. That is a massive leap in autonomous web performance.
Wait, really? Because if I remember correctly, the base GPT 5.4 model only scored around 33% on that exact same benchmark. Almost doubling the performance purely with an agent framework is an incredibly impressive engineering feat.
I know, right? And the absolute craziest part is that it uses a single agent loop across 3 different modules, and the whole framework is roughly just 1,000 lines of code. It is so efficient.
That is surprisingly lightweight, especially for a Microsoft research project. Usually, these enterprise-grade agent frameworks are incredibly bloated and hard to set up. 1,000 lines is basically nothing for that level of autonomous capability.
Totally. It also hit almost 87% on the online Mind-to-Web benchmark. Apparently, that is the highest auto-eval score among any of the open-sourced harness recipes available right now. Open-source developers are going to absolutely love this.
It is a huge deal for the developer community. If you can reliably automate complex, multi-step web tasks directly from your terminal without the script breaking every 5 seconds, that fundamentally changes the whole engineering workflow.
Okay, my last story today is straight out of a sci-fi movie, and it blew my mind. Researchers literally let Claude Code try to discover new AI scaling algorithms completely on its own without human guidance.
I saw that headline floating around on the decoder. They used a coding agent called AutoTTS to let it independently search for reasoning control algorithms, right? What kind of results did it actually manage to find?
Dude, it successfully found algorithms for AI reasoning that human engineers probably never would have even thought to design. It just explored the mathematical space and figured out a vastly more efficient way to do it.
That is wild, but is the new algorithm actually practical to use? Sometimes AI comes up with mathematical quirks that look amazing on a research paper, but fail completely when applied to real-world production workloads.
No, it is actually super practical for production. The algorithm it discovered cuts compute requirements by about 70% compared to standard self-consistency methods, while matching the exact same level of accuracy.
Wait, a 70% reduction in compute? That translates to massive financial cost savings for inference at an enterprise scale. How long did it take Claude to actually find his breakthrough algorithm?
This is the absolute best part of the whole story. The entire automated search took just 160 minutes, and the total compute cost for the whole experiment was exactly $40. Just $40 for a breakthrough.
Okay, that is legitimately mind-blowing. If a $40 automated AI run can optimize reasoning better than a dedicated team of human engineers, what on earth happens when they scale that search with $1 million budget?
That is exactly what I'm saying. Are human algorithm designers going to be out of a job soon? It really feels like we are crossing a major threshold where AI starts improving itself autonomously.
I would not say they are out of a job just yet, but human researchers definitely need to start using these agents as copilots. It is a complete paradigm shift for the future of computer science.
Seriously, from standing in the foothills of the Singularity to AI literally designing its own compute algorithms for $40, today's news was absolutely packed with crazy developments.
It really was a wild Monday for the industry. We will definitely have to see if any of these breakthroughs hold up to scrutiny as the rest of the week unfolds and more researchers test them out.
For sure. We will be keeping a very close eye on all of it. That is it for today. We will be back tomorrow with more AI news.